Have you ever chased a feeling, a goal, a reward, only to find the satisfaction fleeting? A momentary high followed by a subtle, unsettling emptiness. What if I told you that emptiness isn't a flaw, but a fundamental feature of how your brain and your motivation actually work? I'm Andrew Huberman, and today we're diving deep into the world of dopamine, the molecule that drives us, compels us, and ultimately shapes who we are. Forget the simplistic dopamine hit narrative. It's far more nuanced, more powerful, and more critical to your well-being than you've likely been led to believe. /N/N, we often hear dopamine painted as the pleasure chemical, but that's a gross oversimplification. Dopamine isn't about feeling good, it's about seeking. It's the engine of motivation, the force that compels us to explore, to strive, to overcome obstacles. It's the whisper in your ear saying, there's something more out there. But here's the crucial point. Dopamine doesn't just drive us towards reward, it actively reshapes our perception of it. And that reshaping can lead to a relentless, often unsatisfying cycle. /N/N, imagine an explorer charting unknown territory. Dopamine fuels the initial surge of excitement, the courage to venture forth. But as the journey progresses, dopamine doesn't remain constant. It shifts, subtly influencing how the explorer evaluates each discovery. Every peak experience resets the baseline, making the next one feel slightly less exhilarating. This isn't a bug, it's a feature. It's an evolutionary mechanism designed to keep us striving, constantly seeking, never fully content. Without that drive, we wouldn't have explored, invented, or even survived. /N/N to understand this, we need to understand how dopamine operates within your brain. Picture two main pathways. The first, the movement pathway, controls your physical actions, essential for everything from walking to speaking. Damage to this pathway, as seen in Parkinson's disease, results in tremors, rigidity, and a profound loss of initiative. But the second pathway, the motivation pathway, is where the real magic and the potential pitfalls lie. This pathway connects areas of the brain responsible for reward, drive, and craving. It's the circuitry that lights up when you anticipate a delicious meal, fall in love, or achieve a long-sought goal. /N/N now. Dopamine doesn't just rush into these pathways in a uniform flood. It operates on two distinct levels, tonic and phasic. Tonic dopamine represents a baseline level, a constant hum of activity that allows you to function normally. Think of it as the minimum energy required to keep the engine running. Phasic dopamine, on the other hand, is the surge of excitement, the peak experience. It's the jolt of energy you feel when something unexpected or rewarding happens. Crucially, these two levels are interconnected. A large phasic release lowers the subsequent tonic level, creating a temporary dip in baseline motivation. This is the core of the problem. Each peak leaves you slightly less motivated than before, pushing you to chase ever greater highs just to feel normal. /N/N think about it. Why does that first bite of chocolate taste so much better than the 10th? Why does a new relationship feel more exhilarating than one that's been going on for years? It's not just habituation. It's a dopamine-driven recalibration of your internal reward system. Each experience raises the bar, demanding more to achieve the same level of satisfaction. /N/N, and this is precisely why relentless pursuit of pleasure can be so self-defeating. Whether it's through addictive substances, endless scrolling on social media, or chasing fleeting thrills, consistently triggering. Large dopamine releases ultimately depletes your baseline, leaving you feeling empty, unmotivated, and craving more. It's a vicious cycle. /n/n, I want to share a fascinating study that illustrates this beautifully. Researchers immerse people in water of varying temperatures, warm, cool, and crucially cold. They found that while cold water initially triggered a surge of adrenaline, it also led to a remarkably sustained increase in dopamine, a rise of up to 250% above baseline. And here's the key: this increase wasn't fleeting. It lasted for hours, providing a prolonged state of alert focus without the crash associated with other dopamine triggers. This explains why cold water exposure is gaining popularity as a tool for boosting mood, clarity, and resilience. It's a way to tap into dopamine's motivating power without depleting your baseline. /n/n. But how do we leverage this understanding to build a more sustainable sense of motivation and well-being? The answer lies in embracing intermittent reinforcement. Think of a casino. They don't give you a jackpot every time you pull the lever. They give you rewards sporadically, unpredictably. This keeps you engaged, keeps you hoping, keeps you playing. And that's precisely what we need to do in our own lives. /n/n instead of constantly chasing dopamine highs. Focus on creating a life filled with small, consistent rewards. Break down your goals into manageable steps. Celebrate small victories. And crucially, don't always reward yourself immediately after completing a task. Sometimes, let the task itself be the reward. Allow yourself to experience the satisfaction of effort, the sense of accomplishment, without needing an external validation. /n/n. This is where the power of mindset comes in. Learn to reframe challenging tasks as opportunities for growth. Tell yourself,